Hey Sages, um, I decided to talk to you guys first this month. Mostly because you're sticking out energetically. I know you guys all know that you're my favorite, what have you, but like this has nothing to do with that because for some reason there's this really resistant energy with Sages. And I've been trying to figure it out because, August, you guys just reaffirmed for me why you're my favorite people and why our connection is so amazing. Like, in general, like, just there's a lot of you in my life, and time and again, you have been the people who show me the way, remind me of how to be fire, and be in the present in ways that nobody else can do. But I'm going to be super real with you guys when I check in with your energy for September. There's something weird going on. And even the notes I was trying to write up for you, it was like, what is up with you guys? That's what I said. I'm reading it right now. Why does the energy feel a little frazzled? Like, I feel like these last 3 months did something to you. It turned things over. There's like so much skin was sloughed off. There's almost this feeling of like being singed by the fire, which we've talked about before as a learning process for a lot of Sages. Is you get in there and you get you do all the homework. You go all the way to the experiential end till you're burnt. And then you get the lessons, and it almost feels a little bit like that, but slightly different. Like, I was trying to figure out, and then I figured out that you guys are dealing with the shadow side of Jupiterian energy. And this is a good thing to address before we hit November, when Jupiter does go home to Sagittarius, and that energy will only be more amplified, right? So you want to be able to harness it in a way that is useful for you in your life right now. I'm going to start shuffling while I talk about this. So what do I mean by that? I've actually had a couple of conversations about this in August, but energetically it's starting to affect you guys. Jupiterian energy, when it is the shadow side of it, is it can be so expansive, you're kind of just out there. There's like too many options. There are too many things you want to do. None of them are forming in the way maybe you want them to. It can feel a little bit disassociative, a little bit dreamy. You can get lost in there and then not even know what you're really asking for, right? And when you don't really know what you're asking for, you kind of get this mixed bag. And then it can also leave you feeling haunted by things you feel like maybe you should be following up on, maybe they should be happening. Why are there blockages there? Why isn't there flow there? And that has to do with the fact that you're not specific enough. And there's such a thing as that. And I don't know that that's the problem for everyone, but there is this refining process. So Virgo season is amazing for getting very real and very focused on what you want to accomplish. And this month just has this flow to it. Compared to the retrograde seasons and the eclipses that we were going through this summer, where things were just insane, right? Like experiences were just crazy. They were so connected. They were so lit up. It was so intense. Virgo season this year, September, so Virgo into Libra season. These are energies all about just starting to really fundamentally do the stuff, show up to the thing. So right out of the gate, this is what I would say, Saggies. You've got to play the magic wand game, which is that if you imagine that you have a magic wand and you waved it and you could get the things that you asked for in 10 days or less. What do you really want to show up at your door knocking? What papers, what contracts, what people, I shouldn't even say contracts to you guys, what scenarios do you actually want to show up? Even the things that scare you, what is it? And the first thing that came out, Six of Pentacles. That's such a Virgo card. I can't even deal with it. Because we have Mercury going home to Virgo on the 5th. We have Saturn going direct in Capricorn on the 6th. We have Venus going into sexy Scorpio, 12th house energy for you guys, on the 9th. We have a new moon in Virgo, really getting down to the bones of what you want. You can see all of these energies are like, okay, you've been talking a big game about wanting to build that thing. Queen of Swords, truth, you guys. These are such cut and dry energies already. Like Mars is back into Aquarius, so it went direct at the end of August. It's now making its way forward again, back into Aquarius, into a sign that is very symbiotic with you. See what we have, 8 of Wands. Okay. Once you decide what you want, the movement is there. That's great to see. What else is going on this month? Mercury then moves into Libra later in the month, and then Libra season begins, and we have a full moon in Aries, and Pluto finally at the end of the month is going direct. And all of these placements and all these little things, they're really practical. They're not like crazy. They're not crazy energies. These are things that you can really utilize to make life happen, to make things happen. And I have to be honest with you guys, something needs to happen here this month. Something needs to happen. It's been too wishy-washy for too long. Oh man. King of Wands in the Tower. Something needs to happen. Something needs to shift. A risk needs to be taken, or a decision needs to be made. Yeah, something's gotta burn out. 3 of Swords. Woo! All right, I'm going to pull a few more cards, and then let's talk through this, because I've thrown a lot of information your way right out of the gate. Queen of Cups. Yep. Listening to that intuitive side, and less of the impulsive side, and a little bit more of the wise side of yourselves. You have both. I know you do. 6 of Cups. And 2 of Wands. Okay. There's no joking around here, you guys, this month. It's so funny. When I first checked in with your energy and I was feeling it out, and I was like trying to get a sense of what's going on with it, I felt this stuckness. And maybe it's because we're still in August and we're still kind of coming out of a lot of this eclipse energy as I'm filming this, and maybe it's because there's still some of those shadow sides coming out, but there's a stuckness, right? And how do we get out of that? How do we get the energy flowing in a way that's very useful for Saggies? There is something to be addressed here. There is something out of balance. There is something that you aren't paying attention to inside of yourself that you need to do, that's needing a little bit of guidance. It's needing a little bit of that cut and dry medicine. I mean, when I think about these 2 energies together, and this is really that kind of taking stock, looking at your books, looking at, your life decisions, looking at your scenarios around you, and setting healthy boundaries, communicating exactly what you need, saying it word for word, and being relatively ruthless about how clear you're going to be. Now, for me, this is about being very, very specific about what you want and setting it down early in the month, especially as Mercury goes into Virgo. We have a lot of direct energy coming back at us at the beginning of the month, and you just have to harness it. It's do or die, because there's some big thing coming in here. There's some big shift coming in here that involves you right at the center here, King of Wands, with this 8 of Wands and this Tower here surrounding you like this. It's a bit of a storm. There's stormy energy around you, Sagittarius, this month, which I find really interesting, because it's like the way I phrased it in this note. I didn't even read you the whole note. I wrote a whole little energetic manifesto in the park earlier today, because it was just, I was trying to get my head wrapped around you guys, like, what the hell is going on? In fact, I'm filming this while my sister's out of the house, because because I'm just trying to be as impartial as I can be here, but you have an itch to scratch. There's something you want to scratch. You need to scratch. There's something you need to address. There's something that's haunting you. It's calling to you. It's been calling to you for a while. I don't know. It's weird. And the storm has been on the horizon, but you've been able to use your Jupiterian way to jet off into the atmosphere and not think about it. And here it is coming to meet you. It's almost like you open that door to invite it, and the storm begins, the passion begins. Now, for me, this is a lot about passion. This is a lot about rebirth, and it's a lot about deconstructing an old, limiting identity that once held you, once served you, and it has to go now. Now, this can show up as something quite dramatic. Tower energy can be surprising, delivers surprise, definitely. But it's cleansing via fire, which you guys are all about. So it is okay. It works for you. This is supportive energy for you. However, it has a destructive side. It has a tendency to burn something out of your life that's no longer serving. And it has a tendency to illuminate areas of yourself that you maybe haven't wanted to face, because there are areas of you guys, we've talked about in August a little bit, self-limiting areas inside of yourselves that you're very good at suppressing and pushing away and just staying focused and staying fiery and staying positive and staying determined to just keep on that party line. But there is still this thing inside of you that needs to get illuminated, where you are stopping yourself from fully having what you want, from fully embodying what you want. And there is some kind of storm brewing around you that is going to bring this to the surface kind of mercilessly and open you up, wake you up. And this can also come because of the way that this is showing up. This is all fire energy. This is all electrical fire energy. It's really good for Sages. In some ways, I feel like this is a great modality. These three cards together, it's a great modality for Sag energy because it amplifies and electrifies and gets things moving, gets the energy flowing, wakes something up, opens a door, gets things cracking in a way that I think really invigorates your energy. So this can be about something passionate. This can be about something surprising. This can be about a knee-jerk kind of impulsive opportunity coming in that you just jump into. It's very fast moving, all of this. So it's sudden. So I think within that first half of the month, some decision, some conversation, some shift is going to be coming in. And this can be internal too. It doesn't always have to be about the people around you. This could very well be internal. It can also involve people around you where something shifts basically overnight. That impulse, that sudden ability to just crack something open pops in. And with it, though, even if it's something relatively simple, on a practical level, it could be a simple shift. What it does, though, the fallout of it is that it frees you from any old restrictions you put on yourself, any old fears you put on yourself. And what I like about that is what we talked about in August with you guys, and the worry that you're not enough and all that shadow side stuff. This seems to somehow free you fully from it. It somehow seems to close out what was getting ruffled up in August when it came to your heart chakra and free you from it. But, I'm seeing the shadow side of it down here because this is quite an interesting roundup, you guys. 3 of Swords, Queen of Cups, 6 of Cups, 2 of Wands. So below the surface, below this tower energy that we had at the beginning here, or middle of the reading here, after that new moon in Virgo, after you kind of set those seeds and this impulsive action, this big shift, this surprise happening, this surprise opening, this passionate opening starts to happen. It rustles up some demons and some ghosts, and it pushes you to what I like to call them unimaginable horizons. It's coming up a lot in September because now we're having to actually actively show up to things that we're just energetically preparing for a little while. It's starting to show up, and when we start to be in the manifestation, this is where we actually have the toughest practice of law of attraction universe. And where we are actually learning. We are learning in the field when the manifestation happens. And it is actually much more challenging to stay in alignment and stay receptive and accepting of abundance when the manifestations start to come up. There's something about that tower energy that it's dualistic in the sense that it is about a manifestation of something you want. It is about a clarification in something that you want. And it is also bringing up any self-destructive tendencies, anywhere where you are blocking yourself. And that's where this 3 of Swords comes in. You guys are still getting haunted by Saturn. every once in a while. The experiences, I think 2017 just did some weird things to the Sagittarian clan. Things that were unexpected, things that were exceptionally harsh in some cases, things that just it felt like, really? And it's still haunting a lot of you. And when the manifestations start to begin, and when you really start to get into this flow, and when you really start to trust yourself again, it will tend to come up. Three of Swords can be, painful. It is painful. A lot of times it's that feeling of not enough, we're not enough. Or somebody coming back and causing drama, wanting to have words, mince words, right? And could be a water sign, could be somebody from your past. To say, Queen of Cups, Six of Cups, this is, for Saggies, this isn't particularly easy energy all the time. To have these two here, none of these, honestly, are really your flow. So that's what makes me feel that there's something about that tower opening up. It's like you're finally getting that fire movement the way that you want it, in a way that feels authentic to you, and it is bringing up something very deep within you. And there is going to be a temptation to think that history repeats itself, that you'll just go around the same revolution with this new manifestation, whether it be that, you'll go back into debt, or you will fail at the project that you've tried before, or that, certain romantic connections or relationships will always result in the same type of heartache, or the same type of entrapment, or the same type of disappointment, or the same physical health issues, energetic issues. There's a lot of ways that this can show up. There's this because there's something new coming in, and because you're addressing it, because you're asking for it, and because it's starting to show up, and there's this firestorm waking you up, it was going to make you very concerned that you will have to relive things from the past, that you will have to relive these same lessons, that it will end the same way with Saturn coming in and restricting. It's not what's going to happen. It's not what's going to happen, but that is maybe a little bit of what some of you may be feeling as you head into the second half of the month, as you go into really embodying and manifesting this thing that you want. You may notice these demons kicking up. But the final card here is quite symbolic, because the Two of Wands is the unimaginable horizon card. It is the faith card. It is the trust card. It is the manifestation card. It is the bigger vision card. It is asking you to look far beyond what you can see here. It's asking you to look far beyond old patterning, far beyond the physical ramifications of what you've known before, and look into territory you have not experienced yet. And that's what I love about this. Think the last week of this month. In fact, I have to pull one more card. The last week of this month, you're being asked to step into phases of your life that you've never been in before, versions of yourself that you've never been in before, trusting in a way that maybe you haven't trusted in a little while. Queen of Pentacles. There's something very real here. There's something very real here. There's something tangible here in this storm, in the digging through the old bones, and then in the coming out and the choosing to continue forward. There is something very real, concrete in the physical world that wants to show up with you. And it almost requires this deep burning out, this lightning strike, when you're watching a big storm at night and the lightning is really crazy and it lights up everything and you can see the whole landscape like it's daylight for a second. That's kind of the way I'm seeing it. It's like the movement, the manifestations that are coming in for you, going to highlight any old shadow areas you're still holding on to, white knuckling through till you let them go. And that you need to be looking here to the Two of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles energy, which is tangible reality. You already know what this is. At the beginning of the month, you already know what this is because you have this moment of having to get real about it, ask for it, make it happen. You get the firestorm, you get the little demons, the old haunts coming back. And then you finally say, okay, I did my homework, I did my experiential thing, I released the old demons, and here it is. This is a month of big growth, Sages, for you guys. Growth that I think needs to happen. It's kind of bitter medicine in some way. Not really, though. I mean, not really, because the funny part about it, and so typical of you guys, is that you're learning via getting what you want. You're learning via doing the thing you want to do and like going for it. And there's a lot of support there for you. And a lot of open doors. And there's some kind of exciting surprise thing coming in here for you that is going to feel really exciting and really energizing and super hopeful and potent and possible. There's something coming in where you're acting and you're taking action. You're really living what you want to be living. There is absolutely something going on there with that. But there is growth underneath that because to get what you want requires trust. To get what you want requires belief. To get what you want requires showing up. Even with your scared parts, even with the parts of yourselves that aren't happy-go-lucky, super ultra positive 100% of the time. All of your being is so valuable. All of your being is so valuable. Oh gosh, I just want to hug you all and let you know that because we talk about it all the time, but y'all really think you have to keep it together for everybody. You don't. Whatever opportunities are coming in here, hold you as a whole being. Want you around, want to engage with you as a whole being. And whatever it is that's coming in for you does not want to trap you, does not want to hold you in a prison, whether that be a job or buying a house or investing in something or a new relationship or an old relationship, I don't know. Any of those things. Nothing wants to keep you trapped. Nothing is trying to put you in a cage. You're the only one doing that. You're the only one doing that in your mind. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Okay, I want to close it out there. I love you guys so much. It's ridiculous. I try and take a step back from it sometimes and just be normal about things, but it's hard with you all. I would love to work with you. Check out my website and my email. I'll leave that in the description box. And at the SARAHTAROT on Instagram. So much fun over there. I love having you guys over there. I will see you guys for Moon Magics and for October readings. October is going to be a trip. We have Venus retrograde coming into the picture, and that is one of the retrogrades that I have to say can really bring with it some complexity. So we'll be talking about that for October. I'm excited to talk about that. But I love you guys. You know I do. And I'll see you very soon. I'm sending you so much love. And thank you so much to the Sages in my life who have continued to show up and be amazing. Like, there's nothing better than you guys.